Ding, ding, ding. There is the bell. How are we doing today? Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. Welcome up to the live today. The SPY is actually downtrending this morning. Let's turn on our drawings here. SPY is in an active downtrend from its all-time high. It did actually break above the downtrend a little bit on Monday, but nothing too crazy. As of today, we are seeing that hit around that top end of the trend and a pullback coming into play here. So watch out. We could be seeing a larger downtrend starting to take place rather than a break of the trend. I was a bit worried yesterday that we might end up breaking the trend today, but that is not the case as of now anyways. I do think it's possible over the next few days that we could, but we'll have to see if we come down to retest this key 674 range again. This is a big range for the SPY, but I love 674. Keep your eyes on it. I would think if the SPY falls down today, that would be a great first target and just a zone where you could take profits and then maybe look for a bounce. But we ultimately might even break that with the SPY. Who knows? It's possible. Pretty bad drop here so far today. I would think that we could continue down. If we look at the 1 minute chart, you know, that pre-market hit and drop was pretty rough there for a minute. We can't forget that Nancy Pelosi is retiring today. Can you guys believe it? A stock market legend. No, I guess it's technically her husband is a stock market legend, but she can tell him to do stuff. We all got the drift, right? We all got it. CR says, the heck with SMR. SMR dropping off again. Another downtrend, unfortunately. They tried to pop off a little bit yesterday. I thought today they might attempt another move. Didn't happen. We didn't get any breakout at all, really. Got a straight up pullback here down to 36.20. Run it up and overnight. Market makers run it up and then sell it down the rest of the day, especially at the bell, BW says. Yeah, what's up, Rain? They said, where's the bell? Yeah, sorry about no bell today. My computer, I actually had a weird thing happen this morning. My power went out, of all things, very quickly, and then came right back. So there's no bell because everything was closed and I didn't reopen everything. But got most things open though. Can't believe how much ELF is down, Steve says. ELF. ELF Beauty. Pretty big drop off there yesterday with earnings. How much are they down? Wow, that is a big number. Maybe like 40%, 26%. Yeah, I was gonna say like 30, pushing 30 to 40 almost. That's pretty crazy. D-U-O-L-L-D-U-O-L. Duolingo down 26%. I saw everybody talking about Duolingo yesterday in after hours. My gosh, yeah, that's a unfortunate one. Was this the one that had good numbers too? There was one of them that sold off that had good numbers, but the stock sold off. Maybe there was bad guidance or something, but nonetheless, they beat. Yeah, I think it was this one. I think they beat EPS by like a shit ton. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was 5.95 versus a 0.76 estimate. That was the one. Yep. Duolingo. Down 27%. Down under $200 psychological level, too. Wow, pretty rough. Yeah, like Mason said, about like $5. Oh, what's that guy's name? Carl Weathers, right? He's like, ding, ding. At the end of Rocky, one of them. Actually, they're above the midpoint. Above $100, so nothing crazy. Snap's trying to rise up from the dead, BW says. Snapchat, 13% move today. Snapchat can have some wild action in this range. It's been all over the place the past couple of years. Lately, it's really liked bouncing around $7 to $7.50. Big downtrend here. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Lower high again. Will this one be a lower high? That's the big question. If we do see an uptrend continue off of today's good move, or technically last night's good move, we could see this stock turn around a little bit in the short term. Again, you don't have to think that Snapchat's fantastic, that it's going to do great, but you know, it could have a short-term uptrend that can be pretty amazing. The last time, well, not the last time, but Snapchat did go up quite a bit before already in 2023 here, October. Ran up around 100% in just a few weeks or so. The end of the year there. Kick-started by a weird earnings report. Weird move. DDOG, wow, big explosive move, up 20% on their earnings today. Wow, that's a wild one. Damn, that's crazy. 20% run. Fastly's up 26% too, FSLY. On earnings yesterday night. A lot of big earnings moves here. DoorDash is down 13%. That sucked. I need to order some DoorDash. I'm kind of tempted to order some now. Rick said, geez, I'm having connectivity issues. Lost the stream twice. Go ahead, let me have it. I'm the slacker. Come on, Rick. You got to get some Starlink up there or something. Breakfast on Door. That's what I was thinking, Junior. That's what I was thinking. You guys already know where I'm getting breakfast from. Oh, shit. I'm the slacker, Rick. Look at that. Yeah, I was on my end, apparently. I see that now, actually. It told me. Oh, Santi knows. You know, Santi. Meta is the worst stock known to man, Mason says. Whoa. Big turnover again, down 1.7%. Let's look at the Mag 7 setup here. I wish I could make the bell ring. I wonder if you can, like, just have a button to make it ring. Has Thinkorswim added any new games yet? When are they going to add more fun games on there? I keep on looking for more fun games, but they have Tetris on there. That's it. Minesweeper. That'd be funny if they added in like some crazy ones. I wish that they would add in pinball, like that old pinball game. That would be one that I'd like to see. Try Philippines McDonald's. What? It's gross. I've never had it. I guess I'll stick. If I go to the Philippines, I'll probably stick to the street food. I don't know what I'll eat there. I'd want some, like, you know, some culture food or something. The burgers are cooked in, ew. I'm seeing 615 on QQQ today. Let's get it, G-Dog says. 615, let's see, QQQ. Pull back down to that low from this week. It'll probably get there given the way that it's moving so far today. How's Nvidia looking? Oh yeah, big drop as well. Pretty huge pullback. Nvidia to 193, maybe 190, but hard to break 190, G-Dog said. That's what I'm really watching here with the QQQ, of course. It's really testing this recent low. I could see it getting to 190. SITM, I've never even heard of that one. SI Time Corp. Moving up with earnings. Wow, yeah, they're breaking out the new all-time highs. Never heard of this one, but I wish I had. Went from 120 to 374 right now from this April low. Holy shit. 250%, we'll take it. Does that beat Nvidia's? Let's see. Yep. So many puts, the market makers are going to theta you, HD says. Be careful with your puts. Hopefully people are doing quick scalps out there rather than bag holding them, but I think next week Tesla will have a big move, Ahmad said. You think Tesla will have a big move next week? Are they reporting next week? No? I didn't think so. They might have a big move tomorrow. Tesla looks like it wants to break out. This looks like a very bullish setup in my eyes. I would not be surprised, yeah, if next week they had a big move up, honestly. They'll probably hit 500 here soon. I actually really like that, Ahmad. I could see that as well. Everyone's voting for Elon to get his pay package. That's actually what I was just thinking. I believe that's one of the biggest news headlines over the past few trading days related to this. And of course, it looks like it's happening today. That would probably solidify him as richest in the world, probably, right? I mean, he already is solidified there, but I'm just mean, like, he'd probably be up there for a while, if that's the point. I'm actually on the Forbes billionaire list here, or just the richest in the world list. Looking at it. The one thing I'm noticing here, though, that's pretty weird is how young Zuckerberg is. He's like by far the youngest one on the list at 40. Elon's 53, kind of young himself, but they're way younger than all these other guys. Bill Gates is at 13? I'm kind of surprised by that. Michael Bloomberg is at 14? I didn't realize that either. That's kind of funny. Jake said, did anyone see the layoff data? Is that why the market pulled back? I did not think that that was why. Let me see if that coincides with the timing of where the pullback started. Let me refresh this real quick. There we go. Were you looking at challenger job cuts? I don't think, I wouldn't think that that really played a role. Worst month for layoffs since 2003. Oh, wow. I mean, that's definitely a pretty big statement if that's true. Nvidia 193. Man, SPY is pulling back with Nvidia pulling back too. QQQ, SPY pulling back. Yep. SPY pulling under 677, using it as resistance, and unfortunately dropping off here towards the bottom end of the zone. Watch out for this lower range. This lower range I could see coming into play here today. Hell yeah, G-Dog, I like it. Let's go, Raul. I was calling out Nvidia, but actually Mike was calling out SMH, and yeah, it is starting to drop. I've called out Nvidia 2 days in a row, and he's called out SMH 2 days in a row. Both to the downside. In 1943, a passenger plane ran into the Empire State Building. Nothing happened. Really? I didn't know that. I don't think I needed to know it either. ...2003 was the tail end of the dot-com bust. Yeah, it kind of was, wasn't it? Let's go look at it on the chart really quick. I guess we'll just go to SPX to make it simple. But... you said 2000... yeah, it was, wasn't it? We had like 3 years of drop, just about. Yep. Boom. 2003 marked like a good bottom. Three straight years of badness. Care said, when I tighten my stop loss, I get kicked out my trades too early every time. That can happen. I'll say this though, like if you're looking at like a super tight stop, you just have to realize like what you're trading. Like let's say that you're looking at Tesla, you know, and you have like a super tight stop, right? You know, Tesla's kind of like a wild stock. Like notice how it has these weird wicks that go on. A lot of times those like points of seeing these wicks will stop you out. So, just realize that like what you're trading plays a big role there, and also how you're trading. You know, like if you're somebody sniping and you're like, okay, Tesla's high of day yesterday was 466.25. You know, you could probably try to short that really quickly. Again, snipe it the very next time that it gets there. And would you be perfect? No. You know, you gotta have some wiggle room. But you know, you could have like a $2 stop loss, $3 stop loss, something like that, you know, and targets that would be like in the middle of yesterday's range, or you know, down to the low of pre-market, maybe even. You know, you could set it up a plethora of ways, but notice how the risk reward skew gets skewed in a good way for you. if you make it too tight and you're out here just trying to willy-nilly just randomly enter things because you just think it's going to go up or down, like right now, Tesla, you're just like, boom, I'm entering because I think whatever, you know, and you put your stop right here. Oh, well, yeah, you're going to get stopped out. You know, yeah, I mean, that's just how it works. I would say enter lighter if you can. If you enter lighter, you can widen your stop by however much it makes the difference up for, right? Like, let's say that you have your stop loss at your current strategy and you have it exactly how you have it on your strategy. And let's say that your stop will make you lose, let's just say $500, okay? Hypothetically, just $500. Now what you can do is you can still keep that same $500 loss strategy, but you could enter maybe one less contract or two less, whatever it is, right? And you can enter less and widen your stop and still keep it at $500. So I know that it might be a little weird, but you know, you got to start thinking that way. Speaking of Tessie, it's pulling back pretty hard here. Bouncing off 458 though at the low of the day. Again, moving right off of a big level where we bounced earlier in the day. Not very surprising, but I will say I'm a bit worried Tesla's going to keep pulling back here. Palantir went and kissed 190 goodbye. Oh no. Yeah, it did. And it almost hit 191. Yeah, Palantir's starting to pull back in a pretty large way. We look at Palantir recently. There was this trend line from a while ago that Palantir was bouncing off of very consistently. We got pretty close to some support levels there from that range, and you know, we are starting to see it try to bounce, but I'm curious how it's going to play out here. Falling back into this overall range is a pretty rough move to see for Palantir, so we'll see how it shakes out, but I don't know, I'm a bit worried about it here. Michael Burry's puts are probably looking solid right now. Karp was saying that Burry's manipulating the market. Maybe he is. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Mason says, never go against Burry. He says the guy understands failure. True. I'm not going to say failure, but maybe just being overextended, right? I think everybody's thinking what he's doing. Honestly, that's kind of what's going on there. Everyone's thinking what he's doing. Brain says, I'm all in on Ford now. It's an explosive stock. I mean car. It's done pretty well recently. Hey, G-Dog posting up some profits. Made a good 1,500 today. There you go. Yeah, G-Dog's really happy. You weren't kidding earlier when you said you're up, 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 up. Your account grew by 57%. Holy shit. For your whole account today, that's pretty insane. No problem, Care. Good question. Really good. Tassie, pull back here. We're down 1.25%. New low of the day has broken on this 1 minute candle. Uh-oh. Tesla pulling back down. 458. Maybe it doesn't like Elon Musk's pay package here. You know, Rick, shoot, I just realized the book map is gonna have to open up. It's gonna take a few minutes. It takes a little while because I have a lot of preset ones that open up with it. I will, though, if you remind me in like 10 minutes. G-Dog said, my investor wants to give me $50K to play with. He gave me $1,800 in Bitcoin, $1,700 after I sold, and I've since made all this money and spent $2K on myself. What? No. Yeah, I am still... The power issues did cause me to lose my book map, and I didn't realize it until just now, when you asked. It'll pop up eventually, though. It's actually been loading ever since you asked that, and it's just taken forever. Finally, it's gonna open, I hope. There we go. I didn't realize you could connect Ninja Trader to Bookmap. That's interesting. All right, once it opens, all those will be good. I gotta open it anyways, though. Brain says Oklo is falling below its 112 support. Crazy. Wow, big pullback there by Oklo. Yeah, it's kind of a rough move. There it is, G-Dog says. 615. I should have held. QQQ puts. In the Discord, Hurricane said it's just Nancy Pelosi's money leaving the market with her retirement account. That's why the market's going down. With her retirement announcement, yeah. Oh boy, always funny with Pelosi here. I will say today that tomorrow's stream is going to be a bit different. I'm going to have to take a 30-minute or so hiatus in the middle of the stream. So I will be throwing up the Mag 7 setup, but there will be a little bit going on there. I'll throw up the Mag 7 setup during that time, but Should be all salad. Pelosi, Tom's secret crush. It's okay. You admit it. You're amongst friends. I love Pelosi. How do you know? Pelosi's pretty awesome. I'm kidding. Tommy Cruz said, at this rate, Meta needs to give us these AI Oakleys on the house. I was actually looking at buying a pair of those. They're like $400, but they like, you can capture video on them and stuff. It's pretty wild. Like 3K video or something. That's pretty insane, honestly. Demir said 2 plays would have been profitable if my stop loss didn't trigger. But let's just hypothetically say, Demir, that your stop loss didn't trigger, and then let's say that the stock, instead of turning over like this and continuing down, let's say that it barely bounced down and then flew way up again, right? In the other direction. It could have been way worse, you know. Could have been way worse too. There we go. I was like, how am I going to get rid of these? Need to rewatch The Big Short? I do too, actually. It's been a couple years, maybe. Maybe a year. Probably a year or so. I need to rewatch it too, though. I've seen it like 20 times, though, honestly. Mine happened to just be bleeding my money on stop losses. Yeah. I guess, like, if, like, let's just say that you're in a good setup then, Demir. I guess you just have to think about, like, okay, like, how much can it actually move in the opposite direction, right? Or how much would you be willing to let it move before you finally, like, hey, You know, that's the question. It can be a tough question too, and one that you don't like to answer, but sometimes you might have to just have the stop loss be 100%. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's your answer sometimes. If it is, I hope that your risk reward's good or your win rate goes way up. One or the other. It's D. The one thing that people never do or think about that really blows my mind is, like, look, even if your stop gets hit and like you do get stopped out of something, you can always like re-enter on the setup again once it starts going in your intended direction. That's another good thing to think about too. Although you might not want to after that. Mentally it might be hard, but sometimes that's the case. Oh yeah, here, Demir, it's right here. You just go right to this arrow, and then you have long and short position, so you can do a short position one here. And what I like to do is I don't actually have like a hard stop, like especially if I'm day trading options or something. I don't keep hard stops. I'm not someone that does that. I do a mental stop. But you're going to have to really sit there and watch it. You know what I mean? And you can't just then get emotional and be like, well, I'm letting it go or whatever, unless that's your strategy. But I generally will just watch it and just be like, okay, you know, once the stock gets to where I think it needs to be on the chart, then that's where I cut. Yeah, Demir. Like, I don't have a stop loss order placed sitting there on the stock. Like, I will actually manually go in and stop it out. Or place an order to make it close out, we'll say. Manually stopping. Rather than having, like, a stop loss set up at, like, 20% and it's already there. And as soon as it gets there, it's going to hit. I don't do that. Tom, do you think Rigetti is consolidating or will it continue down? Sal says. Rigetti! I need to get a drink. 1 second. In just a minute, I'm going to take a quick intermission, go grab a drink. Rigetti pulling back pretty hard. Down 3.5%. Do I think it's consolidating or will it continue? It double bottomed here off of 34 to this 34.50 range. This is a pretty good double bottom happening out. Let's see the daily. Ah, that's a tough call here. Tough call. It's a big support. I lean more towards downside action, but if we start to see all stocks recover up and we see a big recovery in the market, then I would think that Rigetti could follow along in that. But I'm definitely looking more for more downside selling pressure below support, personally. Can't believe SPY fell under the 674 range again. Actually hit the low from pre-market, bounced there. 672.50. That's so funny. Reacting at the perfect levels. Yeah, no, just I don't know how to say how to pronounce your name there. No, just. I just don't want to say it wrong. But SPY levels. Looking at 672.50 as major support here. I love this range. Resistance held up very well, close to 680. Very, very well. 680 to 681 where that gap filled. Yep, again today, hit and rejection back down. SPY's been following a pretty good downtrend lately. Very good. Again this morning, hit the downtrend, boom, sold off. Oh, what did I click? Oh shit. Oh no. I clicked something by accident, now I don't know what I clicked. Shit. Do you guys know what I clicked? I think it was this. If it was yeah, okay. This would have brought this up. That descending triangle says pop on the 5-day. AMD 235 today. Let's see. Oh, 1 month. Okay. 235. I could see it. I could see it today. There'll probably be a lot of chop before we get there, but I could see that hitting. Just needs to get through this 240 support. I could see like a pop butt back up off of this, and then an ultimate turnover again. Do you think this is the bottom? Personally, I don't, Demir. I'm actually watching for it to possibly continue down even more. Especially off of today's rejection. I thought that was a big telltale sign this morning to reject back down again. All right, 1 minute. I'm going to go grab a drink. All right, all right. Apple coming back up here on the Mag 7 setup. Moving pretty well so far. Pretty great recovery. At least so far today. SPY starting to bounce there. Maybe it will be the bottom, Demir. It's definitely a short-term bottom. Pretty good bounce. Little double bottom, little higher low happening there from the low of the day, 672.50. We had that as support, actually. It was a big level from pre-market today and after hours yesterday. So we are seeing a good bounce there at that support. It's also a big level besides yesterday. It was a huge level in the past, too. So this is a big level for SPY. It's a big one. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we broke it down, but SPY V-shape recovery like you guys mentioned in your videos earlier this week. Pretty big. It was wild how much, like, especially like on, on Tuesday we sold off. But if we look at Monday and we go back to Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, it was pretty wild how V-shape, V-shape, V-shape every single time. I wouldn't be surprised to get one again today. It's already like halfway there. Kind of wild to say that, but it is. Could VWAP reject here on QQQ buyers stepping in? That's what G-Dog says. Let me see what Palantir looks like here. Again, nice little recovery there too. Right off the low from yesterday. What's up with everything bouncing so weirdly today? Meta's trying to bounce up, or sorry, Nvidia trying to bounce up. How is Meta though? Again, yeah, right off the low from yesterday in after hours. It's pretty insane how we're seeing these hold so well. Everything seems very bearish today, Matt says. Yeah, it does. Very bearish today. I would agree at least till the last 5 minutes, but... What's up, Better? Go check on Disney here. Disney looks like it wants to fall down. I was watching Disney here on this drop that it's been on, and I'm eyeing it up for some possible buys here. It's a Burry bubble. Oh, no. I know a lot of people in here hate Michael Burry, man. I don't blame you guys. I don't blame you who do hate him. What is the news that's pushing the market down, Anton said. You know, Anton, we've been saying it every day, every video. Every nightly video, we've been talking about it. The market's just getting overextended. People are starting to wake up to the fact that valuations are a little bit too high right now. I think that's the main thing hitting stocks, making them drop. You can say it's this or that or this, but overall, I would doubt one little piece of news causes it. Everyone's ready for a sell-off. At least like this week, G-Dog. Ever since Palantir's earnings, it's been a rough one. Burry announced those shorts. I'm not saying we're going to have an AI bubble burst or nothing, but I just think just generally a normal pullback would be fine. Dusty says, what do you think about ACHR? I know Archer's been dropping a lot too. I'm a bit worried for this one. I'll be watching this trend that Archer's been on. Now, this is a very interesting trend. But Archer's been like following this crazy uptrend. And it's going to be testing it here soon, so be ready. We could see more of a drop down. Rome Alone is going down in fantasy this week. No, I think I'm going to lose in fantasy this time. My tight end, Tucker Kraft, got hurt. He tore his ACL, sadly, so he's out till next year. Crazy. That's gonna hurt the Packers, man. That is gonna hurt them. Yeah, I have really bad projections this week, though. I'm supposed to lose by like 11 points. It's not terrible, but... I have a lot of people having bye weeks. Uh-oh, SPY, Demir says. SPY, pulling back. Once again, back below 674. This might be where we start to see that big range break. It double bottomed here. You know, SPY had a good support from this morning around 672.50, and again, it touched it just here recently, and we started bouncing back up, but we'll see if it keeps holding throughout the day or not. If it breaks, be ready for some selling. That could be crazy if we start to see a big push. See you later, Demure. Jake said, Neo's green, NIO. Barely, 1.2%. Nothing crazy, but on a bad day. Yeah, I guess not too bad when you think about it. It is a China stock, though. It'll have its own... It'll do its own thing, that's for sure. Let's see what else is up. Beyond Meat. Yeah, you guys know Beyond Meat from the past few weeks. I'm sure. Those of you that watch the streams definitely do. My gosh, they exploded, then died again. That was a wild one. Oxy's up in the green. OXY trying to recover a bit. Okay. I've been watching them sell off like crazy lately. Selling like hotcakes, they like to say. What do you think about airlines, Tom? I'm actually looking at airlines for possible longer-term dip buys here soon. But I think like AAL is set up in a pretty decent way right now. Delta set up pretty well. I'm really waiting for more of a dip, and then I would like to fire off on the airlines, Jake. I have been thinking about them, though, because I like them. I like them. AMD, Fashion says. AMD's been a fun stock lately, too. They are turning over hard, though. They had their earnings and did well. Well, yesterday they did well. I guess on the earnings move, they didn't do great. Today, though, my word, what is that drop? 7%. Getting crazy. Nvidia getting worse. Down to 190 almost. Nvidia getting close to our target levels. Wow, that is a terrible sell-off. So much for that V-shaped recovery. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be happening now. Nope. I didn't think it would be happening too much today. Like I said, I'm looking for more of a turnover and continuation down, personally. Larry Kudlow has left the building. So are we buying gold just to stay safe, stable now? How is gold performing? It's probably going down too. Okay, gold is up a little bit today, but... Actually, no, it's not. Wait, hang on. I thought it looked like... Oh, okay, technically it's not. It gapped up this morning. I thought it was going to be green, but I didn't see yesterday's close very well with how it's shaded here, but... Gold's not doing terrible, but it's not doing great either. We have to keep in mind that gold has been going up with the market. As the market was making new highs and exploding, so was gold. If we see a pullback out of everything, gold might even pull back with it. So apparently their video surveillance passwords were Louvre. I think that's how you say that. Louvre? No, I didn't hear that. Then it's the National Museum of France. Oh, okay. Lou. Okay. Louvre. I don't know. I'm not good with French words. I'll be looking it up though afterwards, and I'll be learning. I'll be learning. That's a dumb password, though. UVXY is looking pretty good today, probably. Oh, yeah. Very good. Very nice. 6.8% from yesterday's close. Wow, there we go. I like it. NVIDIA trying desperately to bounce. It's on a big support at 190. This is a big level. It's the first big target that I actually had looked at on Bookmap for coming into today. 190, solid target. At least for a first target. Like I said last night, I think we could end up seeing it move down, but... Alrighty, guys, we're probably going to call the stream there today. Have a lot going on this Thursday and this week. The company that manufactures them started the picture of the robbery as an advertisement. What? That's funny. A mobile elevator? I'll have to look into that soon. Check out Tessie pulling back under 450. Keep watching these downside moves. I wouldn't be surprised if they continued, but just don't be surprised, you know, if we start to see some supports hit. It's a brutal drop-off with SPY. Watch for 670 even coming up. It's going to be a first big support before we start to test like 668 and a couple other ones. No problem, guys. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Almost thought I wasn't going to make it today. Oh yeah, we did make it, Brain. We ended up getting there. All right, have a great one, guys. I'll talk to you later.